Welcome back, Kelly with the Plant-Based Kitchen. So today we're going to talk about cabbage. So there's many different types of cabbage. I prefer usually this cabbage, or I love the Napa cabbage. The Napa cabbage is usually the really long heads, and when you shred it up, it looks kind of a light green and yellow, and it kind of maybe doesn't look like it's quite the best to eat, but it's absolutely wonderful. You can put it in salads. It's got a really good crunch. So I use a lot of cabbage. I use basically green cabbage, and I use red cabbage. And I'll do is I'll slice them up really thin. I put them into soups. I put them into stir fries. I will eat it raw within a salad. All kinds of different things. So cabbage is usually the best at the end of summer. So that's usually when you'll find the really nice heads. You want it when you're just exactly, I guess, opposite of iceberg lettuce. Because remember your mom used to, when you were shopping with your mom, and she said iceberg lettuce, you always need to make sure it's really light because you don't want that heavy core. Well, with this and stuff, you want to make sure when you've got the cabbage, when you pick it up, it's heavy. So you want to make sure it's that, and it also has these bright green leaves. So you might look at it and say, okay, maybe there's some blemish leaf like on this one, but if you kind of pull it back a little bit in the store, you'll see these bright green leaves, and that means it's good. So the other thing you want to check is the core. So if the core looks exactly like this is good. And this means that it's great and it's not dried out. If it looks dried out and it's really brown and all those, put it back. It means that it's been sitting too long in the store or on the transportation vehicles. So put that back. Okay, so you've got this. So to wash it, you can take it just like this. You can peel off each one of the leaves and you can wash it into your sink. Or if you want, you can actually slice it, just in half. And we'll just take it in half here. And see, this one looks really good. And then you can just put it into a bowl of water. So just kind of soak it a little bit if you want, kind of rinse it around. If you wanted to take the core out, which is, actually I'll just do this one. Take the core out, you could slice the core right here and then pull that piece out, and then you could put just all the different leaves in the water, whatever you want to do. But this is kind of an easy way to do it. I usually prefer just doing it over the sink because then I'm not using an extra bowl, don't have to wash it, don't have to worry about it later. All right, so when you're cooking cabbage, so you've got all the different leaves. What you want to do when you're cooking it is, a lot of times and stuff you'll see the big leaves and stuff that are being used. But if you're going to cook it really quick or you're doing it in a saute, you want to slice it really thin. So you want to make sure that you've got it really thin slices. So even if the slices come out and they're not real thin, you can just go back over it and make them more just a thin slice. And pull off your big leaves because you can pull those back later. If you have the big leaves a little bit later and you're chopping it up and you want to use them, just like that, just go back through, roll them up, slice them back out. Then you've got these really nice pieces of cabbage. And I like them small, but I love, like I said, I love the flavor of cabbage. When you're boiling it, say you're boiling it, remember I said don't use aluminum pots because it makes that smell come a lot more. But when you're boiling it, one of the things to keep the smell down, because cabbage is one of those ones that really smells. So what you do is the same thing that you can do with the other vegetables. You can put a piece of bread on top, and actually a lot of the smells and things will go into that bread. When you're done, throw it in the trash. You don't need to have the bread. So if you've got the heel of the bread and stuff that's left over, and a lot of people don't like that, use that for all your vegetables and stuff, especially when you get your smelly vegetables and you're cooking them. So that's a good way. So to reduce gassiness, cabbage can create a lot of gassiness. They talk about that. So one of the things that you can do is when you're boiling the cabbage, I remember I said don't use aluminum pots, but when you're boiling the cabbage and you've got it going, halfway through when it's starting to get soft, take it off the burner, pour out the water, put in fresh water and start over. When you start over, it reduces all that gassiness and gets rid of that, which is really nice. You can also do that a day ahead of time. So let's just say you're getting ready for St. Patty's Day or something like that. You can boil the cabbage first and make it, where it's halfway done, so like al dente, and then pour off the water, put it in the refrigerator, and the next day add the water to it and then come back and cook it again. And then you'll reduce a lot of the gassiness with cabbage, which is a good thing for all of us, especially on a plant-based diet. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed those tips and tricks. So stay tuned for some more tips and tricks up and coming. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.